Thank you for joining us on another Cash or Trash episode. I'd like to warn everybody that some of these videos may be a little upsetting to some of you because we may be talking a little bit of trash about some of these brands, especially if you work for the company, if you own any of these brands, or if you're just a fan of them. We may talk a little bit of trash and knock them down a peg or two, but there may be some good stuff as well, so check it out. Hey everyone, it's time for our Cash or Trash episode. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Cobbler Union. It's one of those brands that not a lot of people know about, but if you're somebody who's familiar with shoe brands out there, if you're kind of in all those almost niche markets and stuff about shoes and all that recraftable stuff, you're probably aware of Cobbler Union. But this is especially for those who are new to the shoe industry, who are not familiar with Goodyear welted boots and shoes especially. Definitely have to make sure to cover Cobbler Union. Cobbler Union hasn't been around for too long, so again, not so many people will know about them, but we're going to cover it. So we're going to jump right into it. Material quality, we'll give them a 7.5 just because they are not like a four-figure type of shoe out there. So there is, materials are still phenomenal, way better than some stuff we find out there, even in the same price point. And some brands that are even higher price point too have lower quality materials. But we're going to be fair and still give them a 7.5. We can't quite give them a 9 or a 10. Because we are also comparing to really high-end type of shoes too as well. We're just giving it on the scale. So 7.5 is very good for sure. Build quality, I'd drop it down to a 7 a little bit. They are Goodyear welted. They have a lot of great features and everything like that. However, there are some minor details that always bug us cobblers, like for example where their welt is on the under the inside here, right under that arch, and right on the outside they cut it so close on that welt that sometimes they cut into the stitches as well, and so sometimes quality might be an issue, quality control with the build, but they're still very well constructed all around. There's a lot of great stitch work and everything else. It's just those small little details in some areas for us cobblers that kind of gives us some difficulty down the road. Comfortability, I'll give them a 7.5 just because they are they're Goodyear welt construction and there's a little break-in period, but overall the way they have the inner liner, that's just a 3/4 length one up to here, it's very thick, very well cushioned, very nice insole for sure. Support, I'll give them a 6. They're not a support company. They're not designed to be, a supportive type of footwear, but they do seem to have just enough of an arch support in there from the way they're designed, the angles and everything. I've noticed there's a slight arch support in there, so it's pretty cool. So I'm not going to give them like a 0 or anything on the support scale. Collectability, we'll just put 5 on there just because it's not a collectible piece. It's not a piece that everyone's after. It's one of those, though, if you're in the shoe game, you know what they are, and to be able to have a pair, it's almost like having a little collection to have. I would definitely do it for myself to be able to brag that I have a pair of Cobbler Unions. As well as showoffability, also a 5. They're not a very flashy shoe. It's not something that you can show off to people too much out there, but I think a solid 5 is good for these just because if you're in the know, you know what they are. Maintenance, we'll give them a 7.5. We can't quite give them like a 9 or a 10 just because some of their colors that have custom patinas and everything, you have to be very careful with. You have to be at least moderately aware of how to take care of those custom patinas. Like these ones are very easy. These are going to be a 10 to maintain and take care of because they're just black all across. But if you get one of those museum finish, the marble finish, the custom patinas, any of those, be very careful. Know what you're doing first before you just start lathering conditioner or anything on them at all. So maintenance, will give them that 7.5. Recraftability, also 7.5, and we're not giving them that 9 or 10 again just because there is that little bit of a problem with the welts. We come across that very often, and so there are some chances that we may have to replace the welt, and that kind of bumps up the price because of that. So we'll have to give them a 7.5. Price, they're kind of that low to medium range, surprisingly. If you catch one of their good sales, you'll get into that low price tier. If you're buying at regular cost, it's definitely a medium. So I'm going to definitely put these down as a cash just because all across the board for the price point, for all the features that they have, they are phenomenal boot slash shoe, and I would give them a cash. Definitely well worth the money. Definitely worth looking into. I'll leave a link in the description, so check them out. It's Cobbler Union. Very cool shoes.